Greetings. This is Dr. Camisha Chambers. I'm so excited to be here with you today. I am the Nurturing Communities Coordinator for All in Community and have really been excited about this particular piece of the work. So, as stated in a previous video that helped to understand what the nurturing communities is all about and why we even exist as far as all in community. It is the nurturing space is all around identifying and strategizing. We know that there's so much in the world that is going on, and times can be a little heavy. And the nurturing space recognizes that trauma and traumatic wounds exist. They exist for the people that All in Community services, the target demographic. And it's just all about being realistic about where we are. And so it's important to note that trials can come, tribulations can come, but we don't have to stay stuck there. And so the nurturing space is designed to identify and then strategize. And let's talk about what that looks like. So when we talk about trauma and when we talk about what trauma is, it is really important to note that trauma is the Greek word for wound. And we hear it a lot when we talk about hospital settings and, the trauma unit, a person was shot, they're going into the trauma care space. And that's accurate, right? Because trauma is the Greek word for wound. And so, in that particular context, we're talking about a physical wound. But this work is really looking at the emotional and the mental wounds that we go through. And so, trauma in the context of our space is looking at the psychological and emotional response to a terrible event. There are so many different terrible events that are all around us, and they're happening in multiplicity at this point, each and every day. And so, yes, we can talk about the wounds that we go through, but we don't want to find ourselves wallowing in that because when we do, I'll tell you why. It's important to note it, it's important to address it because you don't want to suppress it. That could cause a whole nother animal for you. But if we stay stuck in the trauma of where we are, what can happen to our bodies with chronic trauma, with chronic stress, we see chronic illnesses that follow. So if you're a person who struggles with a chronic illness such as heart disease or diabetes or anything of that nature, when you stay in a state of unaddressed trauma and chronic wounds, you only make any kind of underlying condition worse. And so we don't want to do that. We are all about naming it, not staying stuck and strategizing it. I'm sorry, identifying it, not staying stuck and strategizing. So with that, the strategy part kicks in, and that's why we're here today in this Wellness Wednesday. There's going to be a series of videos that we post for you just so that you can have at your disposal and go back to or refer back to as often as you need. They'll be on YouTube, so that's really exciting. So you can check them out as often as your body desires and your mind tells you to. But when we talk about wellness, it is important to note what it is. And so there's a definition that I would like to share with you, and it's from the Global Wellness Institute. This institute defines wellness as the active pursuit of activities, choices, and lifestyles that lead to a state of holistic health. Let me say that again. The Global Wellness Institute defines wellness as the active pursuit of activities, choices, and lifestyles that lead to a state of holistic health. In addition to the Global Wellness Institute, Pfizer, pharmaceutical company, also has a definition of wellness. Their definition states, wellness is the act of practicing healthy habits on a daily basis to attain better physical and mental health outcomes. So when you talk about what that looks like, we're talking about, hopefully you hear a couple words that are coming out at you. One being practicing, the other being healthy, the other being habit, and the other being daily. And so when you think about that, this is an ongoing process. This isn't something that you just boom, wake up with and you have it all together. We're going to be going through this rhythm of what wellness looks like. And some days are much better than others. And some days you just really, if you're honest, you're just not feeling it. And that is normal. But it's important to talk about some of the key words that are attached to wellness, this concept of wellness. Also, the University of Utah School of Medicine states wellness is first and foremost a choice to assume responsibility for the quality of your life. Love that definition because it gives us the power to choose. When you go through traumatic situations and moments, sometimes that feels forced upon you, and you can almost feel helpless. But taking back your healing journey and going on your wellness exploration is all about your choice. And this definition really, really brings that to life. And it states, I'll read it again. Wellness is first and foremost a choice to assume responsibility for the quality of your life. It begins with a conscious decision to shape a healthy lifestyle. Wellness is a mindset, a predisposition to adopt a series of key principles in varied life areas that lead to high levels of well being and life satisfaction. A consequence of this focus is that a wellness mindset will protect you against temptations to blame others, make excuses, shrink accountability, whine, or just really just crumble in the face of adversity. So these are the full definitions that are coming forth about wellness. And so if we're honest, the question on the table is, how is our wellness journey looking? What kind of attention what kind of attention do you give to your wellness journey? It is important to note well-being, right? Well-being is a state of being. And it's always good when you have healthy and solid well-being. But in order to get to that status or that state of being, there's work that has to go forth with that. And that's where the concept of wellness kicks in. So why would we want to do a Wellness Wednesday or have wellness moments with people? Well, it's important to note that we'll always keep this statistic in the forefront of everybody's mind. The National Institute of Health tells us that more than 1 in 5 U.S. adults battle a mental illness. The National Alliance for Mental Illness tells us that suicide is the second leading cause of death for youth aged 10 to 14. So you see, it's not just one demographic, right? If you're older, you'll have problems, but our kids are struggling too. And kids are really going through it in a major way. And so it's important to note that wellness is for all of us. Wellness is continuous. Wellness is necessary. Wellness is critical. And when we are actively pursuing our definition of wellness and we are actively going on this wellness journey and taking care of our mental and physical and emotional health, that's where we arrive to that wellness or that state of well-being. And we deserve that because in that state of well-being, that's where we feel healing, it's where we feel peace, it's where we feel comfort, it's where we feel well, pun all intended. And so when we begin to think about what does that wellness journey look like for you? There's a thing noted that the Global Wellness Institute and other health authorities and other institutions recognize as a wellness economy. And so this is how it's defined by the Global Wellness Institute. They define the wellness economy as industries that enable consumers to incorporate wellness activities and lifestyles into their daily lives. According to the Global Wellness Institute, the wellness economy encompasses 11 sectors. What those 11 sectors are mental wellness, physical activity, wellness real estate, workplace wellness, wellness tourism, spa economy, thermal or mineral springs, healthy eating, nutrition, and weight loss, personal care and beauty, preventative and personalized medicine and public health, and traditional and contemporary medicine. I'm sorry, complementary medicine. And so when we think about what our wellness economy looks like, and we think about the concept of economy, right? It might take you to the current like global economy and our monies and what that's looking like and how the country and the world is ran. But how is that all connected to you? What goes into your wellness journey? What does your mental wellness look like? What are some of the things that you do to boost your brain activity that helps you to get all things mindfulness? How do you achieve that? Is it through meditation? Is it through grounding yourself? Is it through walking? What does that look like when you talk about your mental wellness piece on the wellness economy? That's something that we really want to spend a lot of time with as we go forth with our wellness moments because the mind is so powerful and traumatic situations can alter the brain. But because of neuroplasticity and plasticity in general, we are able to rewire that particular effect of the traumatic wound does not have to stay with us. Thank God for that. But there are things that we have to do to work on it. There's work that is required in order to maintain good mental wellness. And so, like I mentioned before, we can look at rest, we can look at rejuvenation, we look at what are the pathways of growth, community, being in a safe and brave village, having people in your life that you feel safe with, and really looking at mindfulness, sitting, even how you are just enjoying the space of what you're in, right? Taking in what you smell, what you see, what you feel, what you hear, maybe even what you taste, taking it in and going slowly and really keeping your mind on that particular moment. When you do that, it takes you out of the past and brings you into the present, and it calms you down. It brings down your numbers, blood pressure, heart rate, all of that. Also looking at what does physical activity look like for us. I mentioned previously around walking, that kind of physical activity, or what other kind of recreational activities can you do that might help with the physical activity component of your wellness economy? You see, it's important to note these things and to keep thinking about these things and also understanding that you don't have to do all 11 things every single day. But we want to make sure that we encourage you and admonish you to do 1 to 2 a day or more, whatever you're feeling. But definitely look at one every day because that is really critical to healthy living. Also, looking at workplace wellness. This is looking at how things are going for you. What does the employee health and wellness look like? What does employee morale look like? All of those kinds of things. Um, workplaces really take, if they are really serious, like about employee assistance programs and things like that, they look at providing services and offering incentives to address specific health risk and behaviors. But really, the workplace wellness is when you're on your job and when you're looking at the tasks that are before you. Are you in a place of work that really has dedicated time and dedicated expenditures and money to you and your well-being? Are they offering therapy? Are they offering things that you can do like sports or gym memberships or things that can just help you to be grounded and centered? That is the workplace wellness. So that is something to encourage you to do and to look at in your place of work if that is applicable for you. What's available to me? Because we have to work, right? And so we work 8, 10, 12 hours a day. So a big chunk of our lives are in the workplace. So what does that wellness look like for us? Um, Thinking about the ways that we do personal care and beauty, that could be attributed to your wellness journey. If you do hair and nail care services, certain toiletries, certain personal care products that you love that feel good for you. What does that mean for you? That is okay for if you are a male or female, however you identify. If you say, I need to go to get a pedicure today, that will make me feel better. When you're a part of that, taking care of your personal care and beauty, that is a big part because when you look good, you feel good. And so we want to also incorporate that it is not bad to want to take care of how you look and how you appear before people. If you are looking at the fact that you may need medication for certain things in your life that can help you to prevent diseases, or even helping you if you have a particular disease and you need the proper medication to care for yourself, um, digging into that a little deeper and taking care of your physical health and getting the medications that you need, because when you're functioning well and when you're doing well, then you'll be able to function better and move better throughout life. It's nothing worse than being in pain and being ridden with chronic illnesses that are untreated. That does not contribute to a person's wellness journey. And so we want to make sure that you do that. Or some people, they like natural practices, or they like practices that come from our friends that are on a different side of the globe, be it different traditional Chinese medicines or healing supplements, herbs, those kind of remedies. There's all kinds of different ways that a person can tend to themselves. So as we take the time to really just pause and reflect, I think it's important for us to really push forth these wellness moments with first identifying A, that we go through traumatic situations and we have pain and we have issues that can really, really hurt us and sometimes set us back. But while we're naming that trauma, we also are looking at strategizing. And part of that strategy is naming first what we're talking about. And we're talking about having good wellness journeys, good wellness practices, having a state of well being. But it's more than just words, it requires us to really sit and dive deep and really talk about what this is. And so, hopefully, today you are walking away with an idea more so of what wellness is, understanding how it is impactful in your life, um, understanding that it is crucial to start thinking about what daily wellness practices you can incorporate into your life. Because this is definitely something that is an act of practicing healthy habits on a daily basis. So, what healthy habit did you practice today? That would be something that would be a good self introspective moment to end this time out with. What did you do today? Or, depending upon the time you watch this video, What can you do today for your own personal wellness journey? How can you bestow love and compassion upon yourself today? Don't have to think about yesterday. Don't even have to think about tomorrow or the days after. It's just important to think about today. What can I do for me? How do I beef up my wellness economy? And how do I really, really get serious about this wellness journey and take care of me because I matter? I have purpose and I'm supposed to be here. Those are the things that we want you to tell yourself continuously, to understand your value and your worth. And when you begin to have elevated self-worth, you will do things to take care of you and to love on you the way you deserve. So we're here for you. We want to be your friend. We want to journey on this pathway with you on your wellness journey. We appreciate your time. Thank you so much for looking at this wellness moment that takes the time to define wellness. All right. You all have a great rest of your day. And feel free to share this video with any of your friends or folks in your community or in your village. All right. Talk soon.